Hi there once again, it's Ricky from Moshville Times here. I'm delighted to be welcomed by David, guitarist, vocalist, and Kerrie, the lead vocalist for the band Ward XVI or Ward 16. Absolute pleasure to see you guys. So obviously it's been a while since we've chatted and things like that, and the world's pretty much turned to shit. So how have you guys been generally? Are you still working, or what's been happening to yourselves?
We've been really lucky. we basically left the studio 2 days before lockdown happened.
Okay.
So we'd spent 2 full weeks in the studio, 12 hours a day, and then we left on the Friday, and lockdown happened on the Monday.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate in that way, but then really fortunate that because I've got a health condition, so we've been shielded. We've not been able to leave the house really for 4 months.
Okay.
So we've been really lucky because we've been able to do all the creative elements of doing the album. We finished mixing, the mastering, all the art, merch, websites, all the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
That you really like, all the underground things that you need to do to release an album. So we've been quite lucky.
Yeah, I think it would have been a real struggle for us because we've been like flat out with it whilst we've been off. So if we're doing that like alongside looking after a baby and a full-time job, I think we'd have been.
Yeah, it'd have been next year.
Seriously snowed under.
Yes.
We'd have done it. We always do.
But not I think not as comprehensively as we have done.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to actually focus on the art, not just rush it after work.
Yeah.
Things like that.
So obviously then, since you guys have been shielding, it's just up in Scotland, we are generally behind you guys by a few weeks. With you guys being in England, is there a chance for you to meet up anytime soon? Or
the shielding here finishes the last week in July.
Okay.
So 1st of August, it's gone, and all the income support that's associated with it finishes.
Okay.
So it's either get yourself out to work or you've got to find a way to support yourself. So I work in the health service anyway, so I'll just be extra careful and just get on with it. Can't hide forever, but I'll just be probably a little bit more cautious than I usually am.
Yeah. So I've been seeing these things around the internet quite a bit. You seem to be in September. You're going to be releasing a new album called Metamorphosis. So how does it feel to get it all together and release it for the old and all the new inmates to hear?
It's really exciting. Because we've obviously been putting it. When did we start doing it?
What?
The album.
Writing. We started writing it May last year.
Okay.
May 2019.
Yeah, we literally just got the masters back today, actually.
Yeah.
So it's finally finished. So it's like a huge relief. So now we're just focused on getting it out there. I'm really excited to share it with people.
Yeah, it's a big album for us. We've put a lot of effort and work into it.
And everything ended up getting pushed back. So it's been a bit stressful for us because of the whole COVID thing and our producer not being able to get to the studio due to being shielded and stuff. So it was all pushed back. So we were worried we weren't going to get it out on time. But now we've got it all.
Because we still had our dates to meet in terms of when we're going to be releasing singles and the album and things like that. So we tried to be a bit conservative and originally when we left the studio in March. And we thought end of September, that's quite a conservative amount of time to listen to mixes and to get everything sorted. But that's pushed it kind of got a bit more pressured. And I was starting to panic a little bit, to be honest, because we've got quite a busy schedule from now till the release. So
I think I stressed him out because I was like, no, I want a couple of changes made and like sent it back for these changes to be made, and he was just like, ah!
So what can you tell us about the album then? Is it like 8 songs, 12 songs? Is it a concept album again, like the debut, or?
There's 11 tracks, but 2 of them are interludes, so there's 9 songs on it.
Okay.
It sort of follows the first album. This one goes back to Psycho Berry's childhood.
It's the prequel.
Yeah, so
without no Jar Jar Binks in this one.
It follows on in terms of the album's kind of run as it's got an interviewer in the interludes, and he asks her questions about her life prior to being incarcerated. So in this one, he decided he wants to go and study her childhood. So it's all about the making of the serial killer.
So outside the band, is this some of the things that you're interested in, like horror and serial killers and things like that as well?
We're both into horror. I'm a big fan of Alice Cooper, so that's really been a big influence on the band.
And I grew up listening to Iron Maiden and other bands that have really been used concept albums a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm a like Pink Floyd, Marillion, Iron Maiden, Dream Theater. So I love the story. An album with an arc, a story arc, really interests me. And obviously she's
something to write about as well. Like when you just like in my last band, it was just a normal band. I just had to write whatever songs came to my head. But you get to a point where you're like, there's nothing going on in my life to write about. What am I going to write about now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how?
All right, when.
So did you write everything then, Kerrie? And how long did it take you to write the story?
We just kind of did it as we went along. We were working on it together. I did all the lyrics, but David puts all the guitar down, and I put a few keyboard parts down. We just got some demos together.
Yeah, we did it differently than the first album. Yeah. The first album was jammed, rehearsed and just kind of collaborated in that way in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
Whereas here, we were a little bit, I think, more systematic about it. We learned how to use, Kerrie learned how to use, the computer, and we recorded demos. So we just thought about the types of themes that we wanted to write about. So I like to have at least an idea of, do you want a dark song? Do you want it heavy? Do you want it, what type of feel do you want? And she's quite good at either explaining it. She's not a bad guitarist herself, and she's written a lot of the keyboards on the album. She wrote down or recorded. So there's either a mixture of us just talking about what type of song it needed to be, or she'd actually write passages on keyboard that then we developed music and the guitar through and bass through and the drums through, and then we sent a lot of them to the drummers and the bass player. They learned the structure of it, and then we jammed it and then developed it that way. So we weren't wasting. I think jamming's good. I think once a concept is there, it's a lot more difficult to create songs when everybody's just throwing everything in full blast.
Yeah. Thanks very much for that. So, for those of you that are new to the band, how would you say it compares to your early material? And do you think you found the sound that you've been looking for with Metamorphosis then?
Yeah, I think it sounds a lot more mature than the first album, and I think the concept flows a lot better with this one because we've put our heads down, and because it wasn't jammed like before. I was probably putting lyrics to songs that may have, like, the music wasn't necessarily tailored towards the lyrics as much as it is in this. Whereas this one, we knew, like, this is what the song's about, so this is what the music has to mirror. So I think you really get, like, it's a real journey with this album.
Yeah, more dynamic, hot and darker. And I think that the first album was written when we were gigging in small pubs.
Okay.
And since we released the album, we've done, decent, really good festivals. We toured a few times, and we've played some really fantastic venues and events, but also played with some really amazing bands as well. So I think we got to a point where we know how we want the stage show to look now as well. So a lot more ambitious about what we want and less restricted. So we weren't just writing the music and the theme. We would also think about what the stage show is going to be, what the lights are going to be, if there's going to be a visual behind us or whatever.
Yeah.
So we were able to really, in a premeditated way, develop and structure an album and have the visuals on stage. You know, when I'm listening to the album now, I can see the light show behind me, and it makes it so much better.
Yeah.
Like I can actually, and it looks brilliant.
So imagine the actual sound of the album will be different as well. Who produced this record for you then?
It's the same bloke as the last one. His name's Mark Winterburn.
Yeah.
Yes. We've been
on the phone to him every day.
We've been listening to mixes at 3 o'clock in the morning that he sends us, so I've blotted his name out of my head. But Mark Winterburn, he produced the first album as well. So we learned to trust each other, and because he put so many little tangents and little things that we would have never thought of doing in the first album. There's a bit of continuity there as well, so I think we've grown to trust each other.
Yeah,
we drive him crazy and he drives us crazy. It's a good kind of relationship that we've got.
Yeah, I get the best out of you, it sounds like then. So
yeah, because he's not a rock or metal producer.
Yeah.
So he's done the likes of Lily Allen and The Script and kind of like mainstream pop artists. So I think if we would have gone with a producer that was purely metal and hard rock or whatever, I think we wouldn't have looked outside the box as much as we have done.
Yeah.
So I think he's pushed us a bit.
That's great. Great to hear. So with the album coming out in September then, do you have plans to release a single or a video before then?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got two coming out. We've got no dates at the moment. We have got dates, but we're not gonna say. But they're imminent. And before September.
Somewhere between now.
Yeah. There's two singles.
At least one.
We had wanted to do live video, live performance videos.
Yeah.
But because of the lockdown, we couldn't. So the first one we had to do a lyric animated video.
Yeah.
And the second one is going to be a full production one.
Sounds good. Looking forward to hearing it then. So I see that you also enlisted the Manchester legend Mr. John Badger for the drums for the album. Is there scope for him becoming a full-time member, or does he have too many other commitments, and is it just for studio recordings?
He keeps trying to tell us he's got too many commitments.
He's too much of a slapper.
I'm sure he'll agree with you.
Yeah. He'd only break our hearts if he joined full-time. He'd be speaking behind our back and things like that, and so... No, we'd asked him, and he's got a few other bands that he's not more committed to, but he wants to develop and work, so he can't put his full-time energy into us.
Yeah,
which is fair enough, But he's worked hard to get these songs down, and he's gonna play at the launch gig, and he stepped in last minute really, because we'd had the album more or less ready end of December, and we had the studio booked for February.
Yeah.
And the drummer at the time just quit. He didn't tell us. He didn't give us a text or phone. He just disappeared. He might be dead. I don't know.
Well, you don't normally take your kit.
No, he just took his kit and went. We didn't chase, because we knew from a while he probably didn't have the ability to commit as much as he needed to. I don't think his heart was in it.
Yeah.
So we kind of went, okay, fine. But we were very conscious that it was either we continue with planning the record or the album, or we quit. And it was a definite kind of, it was in my head anyway, it's like I can't do this anymore, because we keep having drummers that keep blowing up and having 3 gardening accidents like in Spinal Tap. So
you were actually close to quitting. You were actually close, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it just every time it got
we just wasted a lot of time, because we keep getting we'd audition drummers, they'd join, and then we'd spend all this time teaching them all our songs, and then they'd be like, then they'd get to gigging and they'd realise how like intense it is, and then they'd that's where they'd fall at that hurdle, and they'd just quit on us. So we just wasted all that time teaching them our songs. So we're like, do we just keep going over this process? And then like we'd already, how many years has it been since our last album?
3 years since the last album. So, and that was due to, a lot of that was not just due to the fact that we were touring loads, but because we kept losing a member or two. So we kept going round in that vicious circle. And we did then get to a point going, well, let's forget this. We've got our computer upstairs. We'll map everything out. We'll write it, and then we'll show the drummer what to do and things like that. So, but he quit. Yeah. So we know, obviously we know Badger for a long time. So we asked, you know, for him to jump on, which he very kindly did. We pushed the recording back a month, and we just jammed every week, you know, like 3 or 4 times a week, and developed the songs as well, so they were less linear and there's a lot more dynamics to them. So he did bring a lot of himself into it, and we wanted him to. So it wasn't just, here are the drums that we've written for you, you play. Yeah. It was like, these are the structures, but let's see what you can do with them. Yeah. So it was on a few of the songs, they're not the same as the demos. They've changed a bit in regard to the dynamics and the drums around it as well, which is good, because that's what we wanted. We wanted to collaborate rather than just dictate what we wanted.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. I've seen him on social media, and he's raving about the part that he had to play in the album, as well as the strength of the song. So it's making it quite exciting for us all to hear. So, having known you guys for some time on social media, I was going to say, like, things seem to be very settled on the band members front. So how would you say you keep it all together? Like, for example, when negotiating what stays in and what goes out of a song?
She.
Who generally starts a song? Is it yourself that comes with a few riffs?
It's a difficult house if she's moody with me. So, I think from a perspective of the lineup now have been together for almost 3 years now. Okay. So we are quite settled. Think thematically and from a hierarchical point of view, Kerrie is the boss, and no one is under any illusions that there's anything different, you know. So I think from a perspective of quality, she's the one it has to pass, and she's the integrity and the intelligence of the group. I'm
just very picky. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so if we can get it past my quality control, then
I tend to do a lot more of the social media and the organising and logistics of stuff. Yeah. So all the boring stuff that she could do, but I'd rather her do the creative bits, because that's what she's really good at. So she does all the art and all the complicated things, and I do all the stuff that anyone can do, really. Yeah. But I think the songwriting process on this album anyway was a lot easier. It was a lot easier than the first one, because in the first album there were 6 voices and 6 egos all pulling in different directions at times. Where here it was very much principally it was me and you. Mm-hmm. And we'd write the 95% of the song in terms of this is what the structure is, and then we sent it out. So there was a smaller there was a smaller circle to get boxes ticked, and that was the same with the mixing and the mastering as well, because there's just there were fewer voices to actually argue with, which made it a lot simpler.
Yeah. That's excellent. Thank you very much for that. So, unfortunately, it's going to be released in September, but there's not going to be any live shows in the near future. So, did you have plans for that even this summer, and do you have plans for maybe next year?
We've planned the album launch for the 9th of October at Manchester Academy. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for that one.
That'll be the biggest. that will be the biggest like headlining show that we've done venue-wise.
Yeah, we've gone very ambitious with it.
Yeah,
especially with the props, which might not even fit in the building.
Yeah, yeah. But we have gone quite
literally big.
big.
So who comes up with the idea for the shows? Who comes up with the ideas?
We both do. It used to be me, like with the last show, but David likes to come up with a lot of ideas for props and things.
Yeah. So with the last album, the album was launched, and then the concept came after.
Yeah.
So because we were playing, we either was conservative, we were too conservative, or the members of the band that weren't sold on the theatrical aspects of it. So
that was mostly the case. I'd say things like, "I'm going to bring a chainsaw on stage." No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Just do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like.
So everything kind of came after the music. So sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And with this one, we've been able to really storyboard it along with the music. So it is going to be fun. It's going to be big.
Yeah.
So it's 9th of October in Manchester, and we've got Puppets in a Custard, Pulverise, and we've got a magician playing as well. So when the bands are all changing over, like a mind reader and a magician's going to be going around the crowd doing tricks and things, just to make it a bit different.
Yeah. So what's the venue in Manchester?
Manchester Academy. Just Academy 3. Yeah.
Is that like a 1,000 standing, or is it 500 standing, or
500, 450, which is quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But we pay, so it can be empty, and we can still say we played the Academy.
So with the world slowly but surely coming back to normal, were you planning on doing like a UK tour or something? Yeah.
Yeah, we'd hoped.
Yeah, we would have hoped to do it at the end of the year, hadn't we? But it's a case of it was such hard work just to get the album launched, because all these bands are rescheduling their tours and gigs, that everything was just like booked up.
Yeah.
So when we were looking to the album launch, we were going from venue to venue for like any date in October, and nobody had anywhere.
Yeah, there's either a mixture of no one was there to receive the emails, or everything in concertina.
Yeah.
But we've got the feelers out. We've got someone looking to kind of book a small tour, or a few small tours next year. So early next year we'll be taking it out and have a lot of fun.
Hopefully, I'll get to see you up in Scotland then.
But we've been fortunate to tour the country about 3 times now, and definitely Glasgow, Edinburgh, up there in regards to where we want to go back. So we shortlisted about 10 venues or 10 cities or whatever that we wanted to go back to, and those 2 are places that we have to hit, because we've got people that like us up there as well. So it's and we've had some good times up in Scotland.
Yeah.
So I think half the Moshville Times crew actually like you. So if you come up, you'll get half of us there as well. So. So you've probably answered this already then. So what's next for Ward 16?
Two singles, then the album release on the 25th of September.
Yeah.
Which you can pre-order now if you'd like to send us your penny.
Ward16.com.
Then we've got the album launch that we just mentioned, 9th of October, Manchester Academy 3.
There'll be another single after that. And because we've been lucky to have been signed by Offie Rocker Recordings as well, so they've got plans for us, and they've been fantastic. Really, really positive. They've heard the album today, and they're quite happy.
Excellent.
Which is nice.
Yeah, excellent.
But yeah, and then just planning the next year. I think
world domination.
It's taken so long to get this music out, and I'm just looking forward to just releasing the first single, and then it starts. It's been a year and a bit of laying down foundations, the music, or almost longer than that. It's been 3 years doing that. So now it's showtime, isn't it? really good because the music's really good as well. You know, it's like everyone says the music's the best, and everyone says the kids are the best and things, but whether people like it or not, we hope they do.
It's definitely different, though.
It's different, but I think we've listened to what people like, took little elements out of that, but also developed ourselves as well. So we've evolved a bit.
Yeah. So I've just got a last question for you then. I think it's really for David. So what guitars did you use for the album? How many guitars do you have? Do you have a dream guitar?
I've sold a few. I sold a few when we were meant to go touring, but I mainly used my Eddie Van Halen guitar, my Stealth Wolfgang, and my custom guitar that Steve Walker made for me, which was based on Noonan Betancourt 10-4. So, but when we were in the studio, I had to do about 10 overdubs. So, and each one had to be a different guitar with a different amp to get the textures and different sounds. So, I used the Eddie Van Halen. I've used the Steve Walker guitar. We've got 7 strings on this album as well, so we've gone a bit deeper and a bit heavier on some of the songs. So I've got an ESP. I've got a bit old now, so I used to be like into super strats and
yeah.
But now I've got single cuts. So I recently bought myself a PRS, which is lovely, and I can't wait to be playing that. I've got about 5.
So will you bring the PRS and tour with you, or?
Yeah, I take about 4. I never go to a gig with less than 3 guitars.
Right.
Because I'm superstitious. If I only take 1, I'm panicking all night, going, what happens if I put the string?
Guy.
So I've always got at least 3 guitars with me, and then just from the Black Star amp, really.
Yeah. So really just the last wee thing then. So if people wanted to find out about Ward 16, where would we find you on social media then?
Facebook.com/WardXVI.
Okay.
Twitter is WardXVI official.
Yes.
And then there's www.wardxvi.com.
Excellent.
Yes, that's the one.
Excellent.
XVI, not XV1.
Yeah, I have to say XVI because everybody
keeps saying XV1.
XV1.
Or X1B.
Version 1. Well, listen, guys, thank you very much for chatting with me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's been a pleasure meeting you guys as well. But hopefully I'll meet you face to face, and we'll have a wee pint together when you come up to Scotland. That's the tradition up here. It's always over a pint. Okay, so thank you very much again.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
You too, mate. You too.